Welcome to our Elite Academy, Senior 6 students. We are going to continue with our topic homeostasis, and under that topic we are going to discuss a subtopic known as excretion. There are very many reactions that occur inside the body cells. Reactions may include respiration, which forms energy, and there are some waste products which are released during respiration. They may include water, they may include carbon dioxide. There are some other reactions which occur inside our body cells. For example, in the liver, excess amino acids are deaminated to release ammonia, which is changed into urea. Urea is poisonous and it can harm body cells. Even excess carbon dioxide, which is released during respiration. All these waste products, when they accumulate in body cells, they may be harmful. Therefore, they are supposed to be removed. The removal of metabolic waste products from the body is known as excretion. Excretion is different from other processes like secretion and egestion. Secretion is the production of useful substances within the body. For example, enzymes and hormones. The process by which enzymes and hormones are released is known as secretion, but not excretion. Then, the removal of undigested food substances is known as egestion, but not excretion. As I told you, that excretion is the removal of metabolic waste products from the body, reactions that occur inside the body cells. However, digestion does not occur inside body cells. It occurs outside the body. Let us have a look at this digestive system of a human. Food is ingested through the mouth, then passes through the esophagus, then to the stomach. From the stomach, it passes through the intestines, the duodenum, the small intestines, then the large intestines, to the rectum. Therefore, the digestive system is a tube which passes through the body. Whatever is inside this region is still outside the body. That's why egestion is not excretion. What is released from digestion is not a metabolic waste, because the activities that occur in the digestive system, they occur outside the body. Excretory products are divided or are categorized into two. Some waste products contain nitrogen, others do not contain nitrogen. Those that contain nitrogen are known as nitrogenous waste products. Those which do not contain nitrogen are known as non-nitrogenous wastes. For example, as I told you, that respiration takes place inside the body cells and it releases a byproduct or a waste known as carbon dioxide. Carbon dioxide does not contain nitrogen. Therefore, it is a non-nitrogenous waste product. However, some wastes like urea, which is produced by the liver cells in the ornithine cycle, is a nitrogenous waste product. There are mainly three nitrogenous waste products. There is ammonia, urea, and uric acid. All these are released by living organisms. However, they are released under certain conditions. Therefore, the production of each of those above waste products is determined by the following factors. Number 1, availability of water in the habitat of a living organism. Organism's ability to control water loss or uptake by the body, and the presence of enzymes necessary to convert toxic nitrogenous waste to a less toxic substance. Ammonia is released by organisms which live in conditions with enough water. Then uric acid is released by organisms in conditions without enough water. And these organisms, they possess enzymes which can convert the poisonous ammonia to form uric acid. And also organisms which release urea, as we are going to see, they have enzymes which can convert ammonia into urea during the ornithine cycle. Therefore, these three factors determine the type of the nitrogenous waste to be released. Availability of water, because these waste products need different amount of water to be removed from the body. The organism's ability to control water loss or uptake by the body, and lastly, the presence of enzymes necessary to convert the toxic nitrogenous waste to a less toxic substance. We are going to start with ammonia. The following are the properties of ammonia. It is toxic to body cells, highly toxic. It is highly soluble in water and rapidly diffuses across cell membranes. Because it is highly toxic to body cells, it must be rapidly removed by water. Therefore, organisms which release ammonia as a metabolic waste product are those organisms which are found in areas with enough water, organisms which can absorb enough water. Examples of those organisms, they include marine invertebrates and also freshwater animals. Freshwater animals live in conditions of dilute water. Therefore, they easily absorb this water by osmosis. When this water enters into their body by osmosis, it is used to dilute ammonia and also to remove it from their body, such that it does not accumulate to damage the body cells. Therefore, because of the high toxicity of ammonia, it is only released by organisms which can easily obtain water, or those that live in conditions with enough water. Urea. Urea is less toxic than ammonia, but is also soluble. It requires less water to be removed from the body. However, organisms to release urea, they must have some enzymes which must catalyze the conversion of ammonia to a less toxic waste, which is urea. Therefore, these organisms, they may include cartilaginous fish and also humans. Humans release urea because they have the ability to catalyze the conversion of ammonia to urea, and they also have easy access to water. And another thing, urea requires a lot of energy to be. Lastly is uric acid. This one, it requires less water to be removed. Therefore, organisms which live in conditions with low concentration of water, organisms which do not have easy access to water, they only release uric acid as their waste product because it does not require a lot of water. It is insoluble in water and it is non-toxic. Even if it accumulates in the body cells, it has no effect like ammonia. Therefore, organisms in conditions with less water, those which do not have easy access to water, they only release uric acid as their metabolic waste products. These organisms, they include birds, insects, and some reptiles. They release this uric acid, which is semi-solid in nature, non-toxic or less toxic, insoluble in water, and requires less amount of water to be removed. And also these organisms, they possess the enzymes which can convert ammonia, which is highly toxic, to form uric acid. Remember, these are nitrogenous waste products which are obtained or which are derivatives of nitrogen. The excess amino acids in the body of all living organisms are diaminated to form ammonia. Then it depends on the nature of the organism. Those with easy access to water, they will release the ammonia. Those without easy access to water, and they have enzymes to catalyze the conversion of the toxic ammonia to urea and uric acid, they will change the ammonia, they convert the ammonia to form either the urea or uric acid according to the amount of water which they have or the ease with which they can get the water from their environment. When you go back here, I told you that there are mainly three factors which determine the type of the nitrogenous waste product to be removed from the body. Availability of water in the habitat of the living organism, organism with the ability to control water loss or uptake by the body, and lastly, the presence of enzymes necessary to convert the toxic nitrogenous waste to a less toxic substance. There are also some other nitrogenous excretory products which are released by invertebrates. They may include trimethylamine oxide. It is soluble and non-toxic. There is creatinine and also guanine. These ones are usually released by invertebrates. However, we shall see that some fish, the marine fish, they release trimethylamine oxide as their metabolic waste product. In this table, we are going to have a list of organisms, their habitat, and the metabolic waste product. Protozoans, because they mainly live in conditions with enough water, they survive in fresh water. They release ammonia because they have easy access to water. Water moves by osmosis into these protozoans, like the amoeba, the paramecium, the grana. Then terrestrial insects, because they live in conditions with less water, they do not have easy access to water. Therefore, they must release a substance which requires less water, which is uric acid. Freshwater born fish, they also have easy access to water. Water enters into their body by osmosis, therefore they are able to release ammonia. Marine born fish, for them, the concentration of their body fluids is isotonic with the surrounding water. These ones, they usually release urea and trimethylamine oxide. Birds, they do not have easy access to water, therefore they can only release a substance which requires less water, that is uric acid. Mammals, they have easy access to water, but not a lot of water, and they also have the ability to convert the toxic ammonia to urea. Therefore, they release urea as their metabolic waste product. Excretion in mammals. Mammals, most of them are terrestrial living organisms. They use the kidney to remove some of their metabolic waste, and this is the urea. Urea is manufactured by the liver during the ornithine cycle. The excess amino acids in the body are deaminated to form ammonia. Because ammonia is highly toxic and requires a lot of water to be removed, most terrestrial mammals convert the highly toxic ammonia into a less toxic urea, which is then removed by the kidney. The kidney works alongside with the reproductive system or the genital organs, and it forms the urinogenital system. Sometimes it is also known as the urinary system. It is made up of two kidneys which are located in the abdominal cavity, surrounded by a thin layer of tissue known as the peritoneum. The kidneys are supplied by blood from the aorta by the renal arteries. Then they are drained by the renal veins which connect to the vena cava. This system is also made up of ureter. This transports urine to the urinary bladder for temporary storage. The urinary bladder is made up of sensory cells which detect an increase in size when it is filled with urine. Also, somewhere here it is made up of sphincter muscles. These ones regulate the exit of urine. Below is the drawing showing the structure of the kidney, made up of the outer fibrous capsule, the cortex, medulla, and the pelvis. The kidney is made up of numerous small structures known as nephrons. These are the functional units of the kidney. The nephron is supplied by blood from the aorta by the afferent arteriole, then drained by the efferent arteriole. It is made up of a cup-shaped structure known as the Bowman's capsule. Inside it, there is a mass of blood vessels which forms the glomerulus. From the Bowman's capsule, it coils to form a structure known as the proximal convoluted tubule. Then it descends down the medulla to form a U-shaped bend known as the loop of Henry. This is made up of the thin descending limb and the thin ascending limb. Then it coils again when it reaches into the cortex to form the distal convoluted tubule, and then connects to the collecting duct which goes to the pelvis and joins the ureter. As we can see from the drawing, this part of the nephron is found in the cortex. Then this part of the nephron is found in the medulla. Therefore, this part, which is the cortex, is made up of blood vessels, the Bowman's capsule, proximal convoluted tubule, and the distal convoluted tubule. But in the medulla, mainly it contains the long loops of Henry, which are used for water reabsorption, and they form groups known as renal pyramid. Then in the pelvis, it is made up of numerous collecting ducts which drain the urine. Then urine is transported by the ureter to the urinary bladder for temporary storage of urine. The longer loops of Henry, they are mainly used to absorb more water. That's why organisms like reptiles and mammals, which survive in conditions with less amount of water, have longer loops of Henry which are used for the selective reabsorption of water. The kidney performs numerous functions. For example, it is an organ for excretion of nitrogenous substances, that is mainly urea. The kidney regulates the content of body fluids, that is both the amount of water in the body fluids and also the concentration of mineral ions and some other substances. It regulates pH of blood and also stimulates production of red blood cells. All the above functions are performed using the nephron. Therefore, the nephron is the functional unit of the kidney. There are mainly two types of nephrons: the cortical nephrons and the juxtamedullary nephrons. Both perform all the functions of the kidney. The only difference is in regulation of water, or the amount of water in the body. When the amount of water in the body is very low, then the cortical nephrons are used during excretion. However, when there is less amount of water in the body, or for those organisms that live in conditions with less water, they mainly use the juxtamedullary nephron because it has a longer loop of Henry which is found in the medulla and is used for selective reabsorption of water. In our next lesson, we shall discuss urine formation and also other functions of the kidney, like osmoregulation, where it maintains the amount of water in the body constant, and also pH of blood.